like
regionals.
He doesn't go Falco at region or like at Low Tier City. He didn't like he played Puff the whole time, but he was just not at all focused for his round one, like his literal round one. And he lost his very first round of bracket at Low Tier City, and then ended up in losers super early and ended up getting 9th.
Yeah.
So he had a crazy run. He did really well that tournament. But if he hadn't been a complete and utter dumbass in his first match of the tournament, he could have done so much better. And also not sent a lot of people out of the tournament way earlier than they should have been.
He's a madman, that's all I gotta say.
God damn it, STJ. And he said, like, we were asking him a while ago, it was like 5 or 6 months ago, what like STJ meant. And he had to mull over it for a month or two, and he finally figured it out, and he said he's not going to tell us what STJ stands for until he wins a Monday Night Melee.
Okay.
So our reward for STJ the Jigglypuff player winning a Monday Night Melee is going to be learning what his fucking tag means. So we will get something, I guess.
I bet it's not anything.
I know. That's the worst part. There's a teeny tiny part of me that wants him to win an MNM just so I can know what it fucking means. But I don't know if I want to know what it means, and I also don't want to ever see a Jigglypuff win a Monday Night Melee. I only want to see me win a Monday Night Melee, so I mean, there's that. Fair. But I don't know if it's worth it. I really don't. And then if it's bad, if he wins a Monday Night Melee in like this horrible way, if he like times me out to win a Monday Night Melee, and then he tells me his tag like as he's shaking my hand, and it's just awful, I might just not go to tournaments for a couple weeks.
Don't come.
I might need to take a break.
Wow.
Oh man. Fucking SDJ. I'm so mad.
Something I noticed Bungo does a lot, he's not a very grounded player. He's got great like aerial placement, but he's just always threatening from like above you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to work out, especially I guess like the better players. Like the first stock, I don't know if you saw it at all, but he's threatening with needles, threatening with aerials, and then Bunk just kind of caught under him like 4 times and just died.
Right.
Something I've brought it up to him before, but he's pretty stubborn about it.
Yeah, and I now that I'm like thinking about that, I definitely agree with you. Like he's got a really good aerial game, and he has a good combo game, but just like in neutral, when he's forced to the ground, he always seems to get beat out in situations where like I would expect Hamlin to win the neutral interaction. And like Hamlin's a better player than Bungo, but like it's definitely an area of his that could use some serious improvement. And like also, even if your air game is really good, if that's the only thing you're doing, if you're not mixing it up with at least an okay ground game enough, then your air game is just going to get hard called out, and then you're going to get punished even worse because you're getting preemptively punished out of the air. And that's way worse than getting preemptively punished off of the ground in some situations. In most situations, I'd say. Because, like, Peach wants to put Sheik in the air. Up airing Sheik and putting Sheik off stage and then just hitting her off stage again when she recovers. That's what nets Peach so much in this matchup. Yeah, he's just double jump, like, bearing, and none of it, like, worked out poorly for him in that situation, but it was, like, all he was doing that neutral interaction. The rapid jabs.
And every time he comes down with the fair, Bunk's just ready with it.
He's just so ready for it.
Crouch cancel, he'll power shield, and he gets way more off of like one exchange than Bungo gets off of like a couple aerials.
Yeah. And like Bunk's he and Hamlin have played all the time for a long time. He's so used to the platform game. Like Hamlin doesn't like strictly play to platforms, but his platform game is so good that Bunk's been forced to get really comfortable with dealing with Sheiks with good platform approaches. And also, Bunk's most confident matchup is the Sheik matchup.
Okay, I figured it'd be the Ices matchup.
No, Bunk's actually not that good at the Ices matchup. He doesn't fare enough.
He does. Yeah, I've heard him say Icy's Peach is actually even. And,
No, he says that jokingly.
Oh, okay. I thought he was serious about it.
No, he definitely, like, he thinks that Peach wins, but he and I are both of the belief that it's not nearly as bad for Ices as people say. He says it's even as a joke.
Okay.
And as a bit of a comment on people like being like, oh, you aren't good against Ices. Like, he was telling me he beat Disc Boogie and then lost to me at the run back at the week after Genesis, and someone messaged him or added him on Twitter and was like, hey, if you want, like, I noticed you lost to Bananas, if you want some tips on the Ices matchup, just let me know. And it's like, dude, he just beat Disc Boogie. He doesn't need, like, he knows what to do in this matchup. He's not bad at this matchup. Chill.
More of a testament to your skill in the matchup, I'd say.
Well, and I think I just, like, I play it a lot differently, but that's, like, Disc goes for more desyncs, and Bunk said he was, like, punishing really hard on that.
Yeah.
And, like, any time I've tried to desync against Bunk, like, go for, like, weird Blizzard stuff, I always lose my Nana for it.
Dang.
He's so good at punishing it. But that's besides the point. The old meme was also that Bunk sucked against Sheik and Ices because he started losing to Hamlin for a while. I think the Sheik one kind of died out. Well, I don't know if it died out so much as the Ices one just got a lot stronger. Either way, it's really funny. God, hearing him and, like, watching him react to that stuff is really funny too, because he's heard it for so long. He's just so fed up with it. Oh, that down tilt was, like, it was a good down tilt, but Bungo, I guess, just spaced around it correctly and did a boost grab, so he was able to catch the pullback that down tilt does. Because, like, down tilting run up grab and, like, doing the pullback to dodge and then smacking them with the down tilt is so good, because it sends them straight up and they're perfectly primed for a combo.
I think it actually has more hit stun than stomp. So
really,
it's a crazy move. You're gonna get so much off of it.
Yeah. Like, I'm, like, surprised, but not, like, in disbelief. Because that move, Peach's down tilt does so much hit stun. You are stuck there forever. Oh, God, that nair just killed.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best DI from Bungo, but just raw nair from center. But, I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you just run into a Peach that's floating.